Now, I want to emphasize to you that I'm not the only person saying that America has become a plutocracy. The late Paul Volcker, the head of the Fed, said that the United States has become a plutocracy. The Nobel laureate Joseph Stiglitz has said the United States is a plutocracy. Martin Wolf of the Financial Times has also said that the United States is a plutocracy. And you see what happens when you have a plutocracy. What happens is that all the increase in wealth and income goes to the top 1%, and the bottom 50% don't see their lives improve. And this is in my book, Has China Won? I give you the data. And the United States is the only major developed country where the average income of the bottom 50% has gone down over a 30-year period, right? And that's shocking. And there's another Nobel laureate called Angus Deaton. He's written a book called Deaths of Despair. And actually, I cite Angus Deaton in my book. And Angus Deaton says that among the white working classes in America, of course, the white working classes are the largest working class in America, there's a sea of despair. And the sea of despair is shown in the fact, if you look at the indicators of social well-being, life expectancy of white working class Americans going down. Infant mortality in white working class families going up. Number of suicides in white working classes going up. All the indicators are showing that the white working classes are very unhappy. And of course, the white working classes showed their unhappiness in 2016 by voting in Donald Trump, right? That's how Donald Trump got elected. It was the anger of the white working classes against the establishment candidates. And so they voted in an outsider like Donald Trump to kick the insiders like Hillary Clinton, who was seen as an insider politician in Washington, D.C. So clearly, there's a lot of evidence that America has gone from being a democracy towards a plutocracy. And by contrast, China, if you look at China, which is supposed to be a rigid communist party system, has actually become a meritocracy. And by the way, I hope that the Golkar party will also become a meritocracy like the Chinese Communist Party. Because then you'll become as successful as the Chinese Communist Party without becoming communist, by the way. Meritocracy has nothing to do with communism. Meritocracy is about how you select the best people to work in government or to lead the society. And the Chinese Communist Party learns a lot from many other countries, especially from Singapore in this area. And the Chinese Communist Party realized that the best way to make the Communist Party strong is to make sure that the best people join the Communist Party. And so today, the Chinese Communist Party has become a high-performing institution. And so I give you an example of how popular the Chinese Communist Party has become, even among young people. When I was in New York in October 2018, I was doing research for my book on Has China Won? And I had an office in Columbia University, and Columbia University gave me, generously provided me with a research assistant who was a brilliant young master's student. And the brilliant young master's student was a young lady from China. And one day I was having coffee with this young lady from China and asking her about her life. And she said she was very happy with her life, but she was very disappointed when she graduated from her high school. So I said, why were you disappointed from when you graduated? She said, I was number 2 in the school. So I scratched my head. I said, number 2 is very good, right? Your school's got 1,000 students. You're number 2. Out of 1,000, you should be very happy. He said, no. I was unhappy because only the number 1 gets to join the Chinese Communist Party. Number 2, you cannot, not smart enough to join the Chinese Communist Party. So just imagine if Golkar Institute can say, make a rule that says only if you graduate number one in your high school you can join the Golkar party. Then you can imagine the brain power that the Golkar party would accumulate as a result. And that's what the Chinese Communist Party has done. And that's why it's a huge mistake for United States to underestimate China. And indeed, if you wanted proof that the Chinese government is much more meritocratic and much more effective than the US government, you got proof of it in the handling of COVID-19 last year, 2020, right? You saw in COVID-19, right? It started in China. But you know, China, at the end of the day, lost 5,000 people, right? Died from COVID-19. United States lost 600,000 people to COVID-19. So if the United States had managed COVID-19 as well as China, then the number of deaths in the United States would not be 600,000, it would be 1,000. 1,000. So 599,000 lives could have been saved if the United States had managed COVID-19 as well as China had. So you can see that's what meritocracy does. It creates deep competence in government. And that's why I think it's a mistake for the United States to underestimate China.